So let me state my clear intention as I put myself forward. True to the motto of this city, I am going to do things differently. I am going to break with the more of the same approach that has got us here. I am going to give Britain the circuit breaker it needs.
So the big Andy Burnham speech today, he's going to rebalance power in Britain. What it means, of course, is more and more devolution, as if by magic that's going to solve everything. Well, just ask yourself a question. Has devolution in London, with Mayor Sadiq Khan, made London streets safer? No. Has devolution in Wales given them a better NHS or education? No, they're the worst in the country. And has devolution in Scotland cleaned up Scottish politics? Well, I think the recent jailing of one of the former bosses of the SNP would say no. Just to give more and more powers, indeed including tax-raising powers, to mayors all over the country of itself won't stop the boats, won't deal with the national debt. And frankly, I think what you're seeing from Andy Burnham is what he thinks is the big idea, but it's not going to work because he says it'll take 10 years to lift Britain back up to where it needs to be. I would suggest those of us that believe that Britain is broken would say we haven't got 10 years. The country will be totally unrecognisable in 10 years. What the country wants is immediate action. And I tell you what, they're not going to get it from Mr. Burnham. Or should I say, open borders, Andy.
Right, picture this. A bloke in running shorts stands in a museum dedicated to working class history and says, "I'm going to fix Westminster." Meanwhile, across the country, another bloke in a Barber jacket calls him Open Borders Andy and says Britain has basically 10 years left before it turns into a Mad Max sequel. Welcome to British politics in 2026, where the stakes are apocalyptic and the outfits are doing a lot of heavy lifting. Quick favour before we get into it, if you are enjoying this, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. Over 90% of you watching right now have not subscribed yet, and it is free, takes about 2 seconds and genuinely helps the channel. Right, back to the chaos.
Are you ready for this? I'm sounding like I used to sound when I used to DJ across this great city, and I'm probably doing that because I'm missing it so much. I'm missing all of you. I am missing all of you, missing this place, the people. You were just brilliant to me in my 9 years as mayor. I could not have asked for better backing. You were there at my back all the way through. And I will never forget what this place did for me. It's been such a wrench to leave that I've had to get special permission from what people in Westminster call my Manchester clothes. I've had to get special permission to wear them this morning. Sorry, Kemi, about that. However, I have bowed to public pressure on one front. I have bought some new running shorts. It was either do that or change the decency laws, and I opted for the former. But I can't tell you how glad it makes me that we meet at this big moment in one of my favourite places on earth, the People's History Museum. It holds real significance for me, and it's not just because one of my old coats is in a glass case upstairs. And can you believe it, comes off second best alongside Michael Foot's infamous donkey jacket. It's because these galleries tell the story of our country better than anywhere else. How through time it has not been run in the interests of the many, and how ordinary people have fought to change that status quo and make it fairer. Today, we must take inspiration from that history and get ready to repeat it. The time has come to build the broadest possible coalition of people to lift Britain back up to where we all want it to be. What hope can we have that it will be different this time? That's the question I would be asking if I was a voter right now. It's the one I want to answer as clearly as I can today, and in doing so, give the new direction the country is looking for.
So here is the scene. Andy Burnham, Mayor of Greater Manchester, stood up at the People's History Museum and basically said Westminster is broken because Britain lacks good ideas. It is broken because power is hoarded in London, like it is the last bit of cake at an office party. His fix? Devolution. Real devolution, not the polite, decorative kind where councils get to choose the colour of recycling bins, but actual fiscal power, actual borrowing power, actual control flowing out to cities and regions.
After 10 years of political turbulence since Brexit and 20 years of falling living standards since the 2008 financial crash, Westminster hasn't been working for people. And it hasn't been working for a very long time. In fact, it is broken. And as a result, the country isn't where it should be. It is stuck in a rut, and clearly we can't go on like this. My generation of politicians, including me, must take responsibility. We haven't been good enough. But instead of being honest about that, the parties have continued with politics as usual, finger-pointing, point-scoring. Now, that might matter less in a world where people's lives are getting better, but when they are not, it is dangerous and destructive of what remains of public trust in politics. We cannot go through another decade like the one we have just had. We need a new determination to raise living standards of every single person in this land.
Now think of Westminster like an old phone charger, one of those tangled ones at the bottom of a drawer that only works if you hold it at a weird angle. Burnham is saying just buy a new charger, rewire the whole thing. He calls it Manchesterism, place first, not party first, problem solving instead of Prime Minister's questions theatre.
Decent infrastructure in all parts of the UK, and getting national investors to back the aspirations set by regions. It comes from giving people the security of a good home and good employment so that they can be as productive as possible, from good mobility and an ability to afford the basics. And it comes from not leaving everything to the market, but public intervention where necessary, to set higher ambitions for towns, as we did in Stockport, and kickstart the process of change. This is Manchesterism.
So who is right? Burnham says the cure is structural, rewire the system, trust local leaders, build from the ground up. Farage says the cure is immediate and centralised, grip the wheel tightly and steer hard. Right now, no negotiating. It is basically slow cooker politics versus the microwave. One promises a richer result if you are patient. The other promises something hot in 2 minutes, taste not guaranteed.
What is fascinating is that both men are selling themselves as anti-establishment outsiders, yet their solutions point in completely opposite directions. One wants to dismantle Westminster's structure, the other wants to seize its controls. So, slow cooker Britain or microwave Britain? Let us know what you reckon in the comments. Thank you ever so much for watching. Britain Unpacked. We'll see you in the next one.